Well, hello and welcome everybody to the New Health Conversation. And for the censors out there on the Protect the Community guidelines, at the New Health Conversation, the only thing we ever cover is from medical peer-reviewed human trial studies. We don't make things up. We don't make claims. Everything we're talking about is completely safe. Everything that we're showing or talking about with the audiences is something they can look up. It's in the public domain. So we're not making up anything. If we're quoting anything, it's from a medical study that's been peer-reviewed at the highest level of scrutiny in the world. So anyway, well, hello everybody. NOP, hello beginner, hello your follower 408 100 joined from posts. Great, everybody. So let's talk about first 80-year-old grandmother cheats fate. She lost 102 pounds and she's kept it off for 3 years. It's not a diet. It's not about counting calories. If you're really serious about losing weight, then you probably want to listen to this podcast. If you're not serious about losing weight and you think that somehow any of the diets you're on is ever going to work, well, you're living in a dream world. We're facing down now, within 4 years, they estimate nearly 90% of Americans will be overweight or obese. None of it's my opinion. This is based on medical studies. Would anybody like to name right away a diet that you think is going to work in the long run? Because there's no medical evidence ever that calorie counting has ever produced sustainable weight loss. Oh yeah, you lose weight initially on these diets and you gain everything back. And there's a medical reason. This is a medical podcast. This is not an infomercial. This is a medical podcast, and we're going to break it all down for you and explain to you how it's possible that an 80-year-old woman can lose 102 pounds with essentially no exercise because she couldn't exercise. But this is not the only one. We've got person after person after person. We're going to show you this new revolutionary protocol. It was developed by the top, well, for 100, they've done 100 studies over 40 years. It took them 40 years to figure this out. There's no products involved here. So don't think this is some kind of infomercial where, oh, we got a magic elixir, you're going to drink it and lose weight. It's such nonsense. Hello, Tatum, biggest fan. Oh, Tatum, biggest fan. I got it. But I'd love for any of you, I'd love audience. Look, already people are dropping off. It's just so crazy. Do you really want to lose weight or not? Or do you want to fool around and you want to do keto, paleo? You're following these influences that don't have a one shred of medical evidence. Look around America. Do you really think that diets are working long term? We are the voice of reason. We are scientists. We present only the medical proof of this incredible breakthrough where people are losing the averages are somewhere around 5 pounds a week safely. And they're keeping it off. I mean, she lost 102 pounds. She's kept it off for 3 years. She's 80 years old. What do you think that could do for you? Now, let's look at some more people here, and that's it. Let's keep tapping on the screen. Mark Morales and user 327 and Salam and Thanos and all of you. Do you think that I'm making things up? Listen, you don't even know me. You have no idea who I am. I'm just some guy on the tech. No. I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I've written 4 best-selling books, some of the biggest medical doctors in the world. I did 20 shows on PBS and 1,500 live lectures in hospitals and around the world. But for 21 of those 23 years, it meant zero in the medical world. Why? Because there were none of the results were ever published in these big peer-reviewed human trial medical studies. There's 10 peer-reviewed human trial studies now that have published this breakthrough. I don't know what words to use marketing-wise. No, it's a miracle. It's unbelievable. But let me show you some other pictures. Greece 2 said hi. Hello. But how about losing 21.2 pounds and 38 inches in a month, no exercise allowed? She only had 30 pounds to lose. How many of you, seriously, be honest with yourselves. Can you imagine losing 5 pounds a week? Any of you? Put it in the chat. Fill me in. Let me know. You're all following smoke and mirrors. None of these diets are working. It's not just my opinion. My God, we got people like Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. The idea of a calorie in, calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated. It's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time for a totally different approach. That's what these researchers invented, and they have nothing to do with Harvard. Nothing. That got to lying. I'm not quite sure what you're talking about. Tatum, biggest fan. Can you clarify that for me, please? I'm not sure what you're talking about. So here's what separates it. People want to come on, they want to argue about, well, of course it's about calories in, calories out. The hell it is. The evidence, here's a big study. Wait till you hear this about diets, how bad they are. A landmark UCLA meta-analysis by Tracy Mann one of the top weight loss researchers in the world, and her colleagues published in the American Psychologist 31 long-term studies on calorie-restricted diets. They exposed the harsh truth. The analysis concluded that dieting itself produces future weight gain. You're going on diets to gain weight. You think I'm making this up? You are probably already mad at me. Oh, you know what? See, the thing when you make an idiotic claim like that, we're just going to get rid of you. Tatum, sorry, you have no idea what you're doing. You got to understand, everybody, when someone makes a comment that I'm lying, they're going against medical science. They're going against medical proof, okay? She really lost 21 pounds in a month, 38 inches. Julie really lost 35 pounds in 37 days. And this is a friend of mine's daughter. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. Look at her face, arms, I mean, again, I'd love for any of you to comment. What do you think about this? You think we're faking? This is made up? You have to understand, when you're talking about being published in these medical journals, it's what's called irrefutable medical proof. So when someone says I'm lying, then they don't believe in science. That's fine. Maybe they believe the Earth's flat. That's probably they do. But I'm going to ask again. I don't know if I can do this. Let's see. Invite Philip Martin. Okay, so I'm inviting you. I don't understand co-host. Let's see if that'll work. I don't know how this co-host. Let's see. I'm trying to let you on, but apparently, Salam. I tried to let you on. Okay, watch new, show your scene, send, Brittany. I don't know what the deal is. I'm sorry. I'm trying to let you in, and for some reason, it's not let me let you in. But again, everybody, let's just come back to this one right here. If you believe that I'm lying, get off the podcast. If you think that peer-reviewed human trial medical studies are not the end all, it's the highest scrutiny in medical investigation. No drug ever gets approved without it. You cannot show me a diet, any of you, okay? Please, I'm being honest. I want you to tell me of a peer-reviewed human trial study you know of any diet where it's ever been proven that they kept weight off long term. It doesn't exist. And the people who invented this are the top weight loss nutrition researchers in the world. That's not me. Again, I'm going to ask you for the third or fourth time. Are you serious about losing weight, or do you want to just fool around and come in and look and, oh, this guy's crazy and he's making things up? I'm not making anything up. This could change your lives. And we offer you a free website. You can see it right there, the New Health Conversation. I'll show it to you. You can go to the website. You can type in Google, do a search in Google, the New Health Conversation. You're going to see it's going to come up in the link. I'm going to show you the website. We have nothing to hide. We have everything to share. There's the website, the New Health Conversation. There's the website. There's nothing on there to buy. The only thing on there is the medical proof behind this. Number one is an interview with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. Do you really believe, any of you, that calories in, calories out is the way to lose weight long term? When in fact, can anybody give me the definition of a calorie? What is a calorie, everybody? I didn't know 24 years ago, so I'm not trying to make you feel bad. But you're counting calories, and I would say we've had 9 people in a year ever give me the definition of a calorie. Let's see. Let's just block him. Ready to use. Tatum, biggest lie. I mean, stop coming on. You're an idiot, okay? Tatum, you're a total idiot. You don't know what you're talking about. When you are talking about peer-reviewed human trial studies, they didn't exercise. You come on one more time and I will block you. It's just such garbage, nonsense, this crap that's out there. And yet, we have a world with 2.5 billion people overweight, 1 billion people morbidly obese, clinically obese. Come on, everybody, help me out here. Who would like to know how she did this? Anybody? And can we get some more taps on the screen to get the likes going? So look at all the people, Malika and Cindy and user 1975 and Kedok and Zebra and Buttons twice. All right, so, oh, you're a kid. Well, okay, then you're done. User actions, toggle. So just stop coming on and bothering us, okay? You don't know what you're talking about. We're talking about real science here, real researchers. We're not talking about a bunch of nonsense, okay? So you don't know anything, okay? And all I'm doing is I'm presenting the medical proof, irrefutable medical proof. So any opinion you're giving doesn't mean a darn thing. So just go play with your toys, okay? So, but for the rest of you, here's what they did. The researchers had done 100 studies over 40 years. They analyzed every kind of diet out there, calories in, calories out. And you know what they found? There never was a diet in 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, that ever had people lose weight and keep it off long term. Sad to say that. That's the reality. I don't care what diet you're on right now, whether it's paleo or keto or Mediterranean. They're miserable, miserable failures, right? So the researchers said, we want to do something different. Remember, they were paid to analyze these diets. After 40 years, they finally gave up and said, no diet ever worked long term. We're wasting our time. We, the researchers, we're going to create. Now, there are no products to buy here, everybody. I want you to understand. So it's not some magic elixir. We're not selling you a damn thing. So we don't have a vested interest in whether you do it or you don't do it. Our vested interest is someone did it for us. We were coached. We want to change the world. That's why I became a researcher, right? So what they did, they said, they completely eliminated counting calories. They don't want anybody counting calories. What they did instead, they developed a concept of serving sizes. And they first 30% of the food that you would buy, I hope you're all listening, you buy from your grocery store. And you get a list developed by the top weight loss researchers in the world, where they started with proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. But they gave you serving sizes. I want everybody to understand, they did not give you calorie counts. Calories mean nothing to your body. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. That may shock you. Why in the heck you're counting calories? Because that's what everybody's doing, right? Not these researchers. They said, no, we're going to break new ground. So 30% of what she well, if you took what you spent on food last month, that's a better way to think about it. Only 30% this month you're going to buy from your grocery store, and you do have a list that you will get for free. Secondly, and here was what made it work, no food from the grocery store, no food from North America. These other researchers had gone around the world to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand for over 20 years and brought back foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small amounts of quantity of food. Then what they did, they invented a new way of eating called protein pacing. And they actually ended up with a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. That's what a big deal this is, okay? So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotics. Okay, this guy he's just right in user actions. Let's see, toggle. Let's get rid of that. So anyway, let's stay on the science. We have got a side show going over here with somebody that thinks they know something. They don't have one shred of medical evidence. They're just giving opinions. That's the problem with everything. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day. They started with these exotic foods around the world. They had lunch from the grocery store, dinner from the grocery store, and a fourth meal after dinner from these exotic foods around the world. Then 2 days a week, they did something called intermittent nutritional fasting, but not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half to 2 hours. Diabetics on this, no one had insulin spikes. Number 2, people weighed 300 pounds. They weren't hungry. See, you've never been hungry for a calorie. That's what I want to get across to you. Calories are meaningless. The body has no idea what they are. And obviously, so far, I'm asking for someone to put in the definition. What's a calorie? You're all counting them. But listen, the tip of the iceberg was not even that they lost all this weight. Wait till you hear these other medical benefits, okay? The biggest thing that they did, and you all suffer from, including all my critics on here, is the TDOS syndrome. The T is for toxicity, the D is for nutrition deficiency, the O is for being overweight, the S is for stress. It's a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office, so not my opinion. We're all storing chemicals in our body. They did a study on newborn infants and found that newborn infants coming in the world, when they looked in their cord blood, had about 287 toxic chemicals in their blood at birth. We're all becoming these toxic soup dumps. The body, as we ingest the chemicals that we can't avoid, the body takes that chemical and stuffs it in fat cells. That's why you complain to us, not just about how much weight you lose, but how much fat you actually have in your body. Because the body, to protect you, is housing the chemical in the fat cell. These researchers did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis and proved that this was removing chemicals from the body. In her case, she lost no water weight and gained 6 to 9% lean muscle mass and wasn't allowed to exercise. Yeah, but okay, Tatum, great, you got it right. Goodbye. Anyway, to make a long story short, when they measured and saw that this was removing herbicides and pesticides from the body, they were completely shocked. Okay. The next thing that happened when they measured inflammation, inflammation came down 25% in 30 days. No one's ever seen that happen ever in history. And the third part about this, and the most important part, is maintenance. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. This could change your life if you take it seriously. Otherwise, blow it off and do keto. Look, I've got study after study showing, like, here's another one, why you shouldn't count calories. Listen, these are the medical researchers saying this, not me. I'm not giving people opinions. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to counter restrict their calories gain back more weight than they lost. And then here's the real clincher. No, they're not exotic fruits, Buttons. You misunderstood. No, you heard it wrong. These are nutrients from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, not fruits. In Tibet, they don't have any fruit in Tibet. No, these are combinations of nutrients that came from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. 30%, you must not have been on the first part when I was talking about 30% of the food you would consume, you'd get a grocery list developed by these top weight. Listen, this is published in the 10 biggest medical journals in the world. This is what I'm telling you. And you get to do exactly what the people did in these studies. How the hell do you think she lost 5 pounds a week, 21 pounds in a month, 38 inches with no exercise? Or my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months, everybody, 60. Or the grandma here, how about 80-year-old, 102 pounds? And then, when you get older, you can't lose weight. Well, don't tell. He lost 40 pounds in a month. You think this is a diet, anybody? Now, if you think it's a lie, then you're on the wrong podcast. Then don't waste your time. But are you really serious about finding out about this? Because we've provided for all of you a free medical website. You can see it in blue, the New Health Conversation. If you go there, we won't contact you. Why should we need to? We have the medical proof. Because again, when it's published in peer-reviewed human trial studies, all these critics that want to come on here and make claims, they don't have a leg to stand on. This has already been reviewed by the top medical researchers in the entire world. That's why it's so exciting for all of you. You could change your lives. Yeah, I get really animated, get really excited about this. Because it's changing lives. Buttons just, so no, you didn't hear the first part? Okay. No, Buttons, please, I'm your friend. I'm not upset. But I'm just trying to explain it to everybody, okay? So, who else would like to ask me? Okay, okay. All right, so let me explain again to everybody what they did. How did she create, how did this happen? Well, the people, first of all, that developed this, they're rated the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the whole world, the top people. And what they had done, they'd done 100 studies on human beings over 40 years and determined that no diet they'd ever analyze ever caused people to lose weight and be able to keep it off. And 2/3 of the people gained more than they lost. So they said, obviously, we're on the right track. And the wrong track was having people count calories. But a calorie is simply, all it is basic a measurement. But I'm not going to waste my time on that right now at this moment. So if you're doing calories in, calories out, you're making the biggest mistake of your life because your body has no idea what a calorie even is. So you might as well be counting sheep, okay? The only thing your body ever has cared about, because there's only 3 things that keep us alive. Well, 3 of the major things keep you alive: breathing, drinking water, and nutrition. So the researchers said instead of counting calories, they didn't let anybody count calories. They got rid of counting calories. They developed serving sizes that were based on what? The key ingredient in the foods that you would eat if you did this was the amount of nutrition in those foods. And they eliminated only 30% of the food you actually would eat, you'd buy from your grocery store. And so, Buttons, you'd get a grocery list of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Bye. Anyway, to make a long story short, those foods you'd get a serving size to consume, right? The other 70, here was the key. The other 70% of the foods, though, for all of you, didn't come from the United States. It came from other researchers who've gone around the world for 20 years to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, where they had found foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. Got it, everybody? So 30% of the food, proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables from your grocery store, organic in North America. But the other 70% you can't buy in a grocery store. It's not available. These researchers had found these foods, and you buy directly from them. You don't buy anything from us. We don't have any products. We don't sell anything. Okay, now, the next thing they did was create a new way of eating. That sounds crazy, right? You know how to eat. No, not like this, you don't. They created something called protein pacing, which is a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. And what they were able to do is they let her have 5 days a week. She had 4 meals a day. You ever heard of that on a diet? She started with these exotic foods from around the world, no food from the United States. Lunch from the grocery list, dinner from the grocery list, foods from the United States, and then a 4th meal after dinner. So 5 days a week, 4 meals a day, called protein pacing. Then 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. On those days, not fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store at all, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time, she ate them 8 times a day. Now, before you diabetics get on my case, diabetics had there were no insulin spikes. People that weighed 300 pounds were not hungry because they proved, the researchers in a month, that you're getting it now. I'll go there. Great buttons. But the point is that the researchers, they were shocked. No, keep in mind, they'd done this for 40 years. They looked at every kind of diet out there. And they did blood, stool, urine, fat, liver enzymes. I mean, a whole battery of tests they were doing on these people. The number one thing they saw was this was a detox. They had medical proof this was removing chemicals from the body. And that was why they were able to come to all these conclusions, because they had the medical proof, right? Medical proof. And so what happened is that they saw not just toxins leaving the body, they saw that inflammation, the first test in history ever done, it came down 25% in a month, and all of us, including me and you and all my critics, have inflammation in their body. No diet's ever removed anything relative to inflammation. The third thing, this picture's 8 or 9 years old. She's been able to keep it off for 8 or 9 years. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Have any of you ever done anything like that? I doubt it. This is going to change the world. This is going to make every diet obsolete. These major researchers, they're the top obesity experts in the world, are calling them saying, you guys have cracked the code. Men and women both worked on this. This could change your life. It's not about fitting in your skinny jeans. Well, I mean, look at this, everyone. I mean, look at that, everybody. 60 pounds in 3 months. That's 5 pounds a week for 3 months. You trying to tell me there's any calorie counting, keto? I mean, you should see the pitiful results of all these diets. I have them here. Here's the overall. This is from the world experts, what they're saying. The grand myth of traditional diets, a devastating cycle of failure and false promises. Traditional diets, be they low-fat, low-carb, keto, carnivore, macro counting obsessions, or the latest fad, time-restricted eating, seduce millions with vows of dramatic weight loss and radiant health. But the brutal truth, etched in decades of unyielding scientific evidence, shatters the illusion. These diets deliver fleeting illusions of progress, followed by inevitable regain, negligible long-term medical benefits, and a hidden toll on your body by losing 25 to 40% of your lean muscle mass. Here's a review of the actual results in medical studies, starting with low-fat, low-carb, keto, carnivore, macros, time-restricted eating. This was 12 months. Do you know across the board that it didn't matter what the diet was, 25 to 40% was lean muscle mass, and all they lost in a year in the long run on all these diets on the low side was 11 pounds in a year, and the most anybody lost was 16 pounds in a year. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. What do I need to say more than that? And look, these results are published in these 10 peer-reviewed human trial medical studies, which you all can see at that website, the New Health Conversation. It's totally free to go there. Free. No one's going to, if you go there, we won't even contact you. Why would we need to contact you when we have the medical proof? Yes, firecracker. Are you saying you're on this protocol and you lost 5.2 pounds in 7 days? Well, then is that what you're saying, firecracker? Someone's on. Yes. Oh, okay. I have no idea who this person is. She's obviously doing the protocol. So listen, everybody. She lost 5.2 pounds in 7 days. Well, hello. That's what the averages are about 5 pounds. But Firecracker, how do you feel? How shocked are you? Have you tried other diets before? Please fill us in. This isn't a commercial, everybody. I swear I don't know Firecracker. I have no idea. She must have been on one of my podcasts and got a coach. So we'll just wait for Firecracker to tell us. Hey there, Dahlia. Hello, Salam. Hello, Buttons444. I usually lose 4 pounds in a month with difficulty. Are you reading this, everybody? You think I'm making this stuff up? This is real. Firecracker, how excited are you now? Look what she said. She knew it because that's listen, on these diets, 4 pounds a month, that's initially, but then it slows down to almost nothing after that. Huh. I promise on my kids' lives, I don't know this person. I didn't ask her to come on. She must have, been scrolling and seen my podcast and came. I'm delighted that you're here, Fark. Can't wait for she says, can't wait for the 1 month results. Well, so you already lost. So listen, everybody, she lost more weight. She lost 5.2 pounds in 7 days, more than she ever lost in a month on diets. That's what we tell people all the time. You can lose weight on this. It would take you, basically in 7 days, you're losing the kind of weight that would take you a month or more. Crazy. So who else would like to ask me a question where it doesn't let you on? I'm not opposed to you coming on. The live creator has declined this invite. Okay, so what am I supposed to do? I thought you wanted to come on the podcast. So anyway, does anybody have, come on, we're only at 300 likes. We've been 27 minutes. Come on, everybody, let's get some tapping going on that screen. Who else would like to ask us a question here? We've got a live person that's physically on the protocol. 5.2 pounds in 7 days. You think this is made up? You think that's a plant? It's not. I do not know her. Firecracker, can you tell the audience, I didn't know you were coming on. I didn't invite you. You're coming on to share your great success already and your enthusiasm for what's going to happen to you really for the rest of your life. Because the other thing you got to understand, Firecracker, you're going to be able to keep that weight off for the rest of your life. So again, everybody, who would like to ask me a question, all right? We started out with the grandma, 80-year-old, 102 pounds, and she's kept it off for 3 years. Does that sound like any diet you've ever heard of before? And by the way, she lost that in about a year, just to let you know. And she's kept it off now for 3 years. 100% he has no clue who I am. Laugh out loud. Okay, great. I hope I know who I am. Because, critics want to come on and they want to make a statement. But the problem is there's no credibility because of the fact they don't have peer-reviewed human trial studies. I didn't do the studies. So when they're criticizing me, really what they're criticizing is medical science. And as a matter of fact, this woman and her daughter appeared on the cover of Women's World magazine. Talk about validity. This was the June 9th issue, so about 2 months ago. This is the cover story. The daughter's a nurse. She's 57 years old. She lost 50 pounds in 3 months. The mom, as you see there, 102 pounds she's lost now. She lost totally. When they had done the article, I think she was at 91 pounds. So she lost like another 11 pounds in a couple months. But she's 80 years old. She's not 20. If you look, it looks like a different woman. I realize that. It's the same person. I coached them. I personally coach. I know both of those women. You think you get on the cover, everybody, of Women's World magazine if it's not real? You think this is the #1 women's magazine in the world? You think they'd put something on the cover that wasn't real and backed by medical science? That's what you all have available to you. If that's what you get, or they want to come on and voice their opinion. They can't believe this is real. How many of you, would you put it in the chat for me? Do you think, Curtis, he's a mid-60s guy, 40 pounds in a month. Who thinks that's real? Number one, you can tell. I hope you can see it's the same guy. Look at even his chin. That's 30 days, but look at his blood work. That's what's so unique about this. Do you know every diet out there, the only thing they've ever measured has been the weight loss? They never do this deep dive into blood, stool, urine, fat, liver enzymes, etc. This is going to change the world. It is changing the world. You think it changed his world? Look at his stomach, everybody. Now, why are they shrinking so much? By the way, I should tell you that picture's 8 or 9 years old, and he's kept it off for 8 or 9 years. All these people, because these studies, some of them were started in 2012, 13 years ago, and they've followed the people now for 13 years, and they've kept it off. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Does that sound interesting to any of you? Now, cool, wonderful, firecracker. Now listen, everyone, here's my point. I'll show you some other pictures. For example, medical. Christopher, look at it. He lost 43 pounds, but look at his, for example, triglycerides from 169 to 58. His bad cholesterol, 105 to 68. His blood pressure, 133 over 86, dropped to 126 over 73. That's why you should be doing this. And right there, with a free consultation, it's not a gimmick. You get a free consultation and you get coached for free. And by the way, I should all tell you, 30% of the food you would buy, take your grocery bill, whatever you paid last month, take 30%. That's 30% of the food you're going to consume, but you're not going to be counting calories. You're going to get serving sizes of proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. And the other 70% of the money you're going to spend goes towards these exotic foods from around the world, from Russia, Mongolia, from Tibet, South America, New Zealand. That's what they all consumed. And then they consumed in a very different way. And then we taught them how to keep the weight off. But look at this. Look, 34. Look at the shrinkage in his body. Look at that. Now you can think it's photoshopped if you want. Look at him. Day one, it was 29 days. It wasn't even 30 days. Well, look at that. She's saying even the 2-day detox wasn't that bad. I loathe fasting, the second detox, because you're not fasting. You're doing intermittent nutritional fasting. Firecracker, I'm so happy for you. That is just wonderful. Are you all in disbelief? Is that the thing? You don't believe this is real? You think I'm lying to you? What, you think we photoshopped all of these pictures? Look at Andy here, everybody. 45 pounds in 60 days. Look at his bad cholesterol, 120 to 59. His A1C from 7.9 to 6.2. That's in 30. We only share what's in the, you could go look all this stuff up, but we've made it easy for you because right there in blue, the New Health Conversation, I'm going to show it to all of you again. Any of you want to see, go to Google, type in the New Health Conversation. Yeah, it's a revolutionary system. I couldn't agree with you more, Firecracker. Look, there's the website. See the website, everybody? There's nothing to buy on that website. And only thing there's a medical proof, like number one, is a podcast with the number one weight loss researcher in the world. I'm sure that Firecracker will back me up. There's nothing to buy on that website. We did not call this person to go there. When once you go there, we're not going to contact you. The only way you can contact us is scroll down and get a coach. And Firecracker, I'm sure you have a coach. What can you tell everybody? Look, I don't know this person. She just told you. What do you think this is a setup? You could be. If you're that skeptical, then you're on the wrong podcast. You shouldn't be on this podcast because we're scientists. We only bring you medical proof. Now, you may not like the medical proof. Now, I'm going to show you a picture right now that's going to blow your mind. This is not Photoshop. This is 50 days. So let's say 7 weeks in a day. Chris. He lost 75.6 pounds and 65 inches. His blood pressure went from 149 over 81 to 103 over 64. Look at how much now he still has some more weight to lose, but look at how much his stomach came down. Now, again, unless you think we're lying, but if you don't think we're lying, how can you take the chance not to go there? Yeah, because, again, like I've talked about, just ask yourself why we're people in the 1950s skinny, and well, because our food is nutritious. You got it, Firecracker. You've learned that. Firecracker, how much have you enjoyed the video tutorials? Listen, all of you, what she's using, it's the researchers developed that, not us. We're just using it. These daily videos from the top weight loss researchers in the world, they're the ones that invented this. They're there to cheer you on. They don't have any products. They don't sell anything. They don't have a company. You're not buying anything from the researchers or from us. You buy directly either from your grocery store or from the people who, or from these researchers from around the world. Who else would like to ask me a question? You all, there's a live person on here physically doing this. It's called R2M, race to maintenance. It's based on protein pacing and intermittent nutritional fasting, not water fasting, not time restricted eating, none of that nonsense. Look, here's the thing that I'm fighting. I'm the only one on all of the whole darn internet with peer-reviewed human trial studies. Everybody else is giving out opinions. And when we look at let's say you don't want to believe me. How about Medicare? Medicare just completed a huge study because they're trying to bring healthcare costs down, because obesity leads to 40 known diseases, in case you didn't know. Unless you think I'm not sensitive to this, my own mother was morbidly obese my whole life. I loved her. She was awesome. And 24 years ago, she called me up and they said, Peter, I have one wish in my life. I said, Mom, what's that? She said, I would give anything if I could spend one day thin. I said, wow, Mom, that's cool. Well, 6 months later, massive heart attack and stroke. The reason I hate diets so much, and I'm admitting, I hate diets. My mom, in my opinion, dieted herself to death. Over those years, I'd see her lose 20, gain 25 back, lose 25, gain 30 back. At the end, she was on so many pills, it's like she needed a calendar to keep track of what she took when, etc. This is going to change the world for the people that are happy enough, that are lucky enough to, we're not even asking you, we're inviting you. Go to the website, prove us wrong. That should be your goal, prove us wrong. But when you look at the medical proof, there's no proving us wrong. Now, Medicare, what did they say? Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. Our researchers at Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies show that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. This is Medicare, for crying out loud. I mean, seriously, I'd love for someone to put in the chat a diet you think works. I'd also like you to put in the chat, what's the definition of a calorie? Somebody on one of the other platforms did. They actually got it right. Congratulations. But the thing is, does anyone believe with the newest research, Johns Hopkins Medical School study predicts obesity apocalypse by 2030 in 4 years. 86% of Americans will be overweight or obese. Honestly, be honest with yourselves. Just because you're skeptical, it doesn't mean it's not real. It just means you don't have enough information to change your skepticism into belief. If you believe in medical science, you'll see the only thing on that website is the medical proof, including one of the links that will take you right to these peer-reviewed human trial studies. Why would we have to lie to you? What would we gain by that? All we're doing is sharing the actual data from the published peer-reviewed studies in the biggest medical journals in the world, like the Obesity Journal, Frontiers in Physiology, Nutrients, the Nutrition Journal, Frontiers in Nutrition. And Nature Communications, by the way, this study 6 months ago is the #1 medical journal in the world. It had nothing to do with the weight loss on this. Let me read the title. Gut microbiome remodeling and metabolic profile improves drastically in response to protein pacing and intermittent nutritional fasting. So many people have gut problems, leaky gut, Crohn's, colitis, and we're not curing, treating, preventing, diagnosing any medical conditions. But we can read to you from the actual results published in these huge medical journals. It's not the researchers. They can't publish their own work. They submit it and get scrutinized by the top medical doctors in the world who have one purpose of trying to make it right. Yeah, she's saying it's complete nonsense dieting. I'm glad you're... So apparently, Firecracker, you've tried lots of diets and you agree that you lost initially the weight and it all came back. Am I correct? I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I'll bet that's what she's going to say. I understand the biggest thing we're fighting here is that it's you can't believe this is real. Be honest with me. I'm happy. Put it in the chat. Do you think, well, this one in particular, do you think it's the same woman or did we Photoshop it or photo hack, whatever it's called? I don't even know. I'm a nutritional researcher. I'm not an internet guru. And TikTok has been amazing for us because it's allowed us to reach so many people. I had done 1,500, I'm not trying to brag, but for the new people coming on, I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I wrote 4 best-selling books, 20 shows on public broadcasting, 1,500 lectures around the world. But in the medical world, for 22 of my 23 years, it meant zero. Why? Because there were no published peer review, in these big journals, there was no published results until now. Everything has changed. Everything. So who would like to make a comment? Is this real? Is it the same woman, or are we lying to you? I'm not going to be mad if you tell me you think we're lying to you, because I get that a lot of times. People say, you switch, it's not the same woman. It can't be the same woman. Why can't it? Do you realize all the things that we take for granted in our lives now? Something like GPS. How the hell does that work? You like using it though, don't you? And what makes this, again, so unique is the fact it is published in these huge medical journals. They're saying this is real, this is safe. Again, any of the people on here, put in the comments, is it the same woman? Is it a different woman? Do you believe it's the same woman? All of them, really. I mean, even people question this, oh, it's not the same woman. Really? Why? Because her hair's different, her hair's up in one picture and down in the other. But look at her body. Unless we're faking this out, look at how much she shrank. Why is she shrinking? Because this is a detox. It is not a diet. And the key to it is not just you can get the weight off, but it detoxes the body. And the researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved this is removing chemicals from the body. And our body, in case you didn't know it, as we ingest all these chemicals in our world now, the body's taking the chemical and stuffing it into our fat cells, and those fat cells are expanding. Don't let anybody tell you burn fat on a diet or through exercise. It's just total nonsense. We're born with a certain number of fat cells. We die with a certain number of. Google it. Go Google it. You'll see. So all these people telling you burning fat it's just a flat out. I'll be kind. It's not correct. You can draw your own conclusions. Because I don't need to make fun of. I believe that these people have their hearts in the right place. They're trying to help you. But what if everything they're telling you, everything about diet, exercise, nutrition is completely wrong? Because it is. You can't possibly tell me that if we're talking about in 4 years, 86% of Americans are going to be overweight or obese, and from 1995 to 2025, the obesity rates in this country have doubled. Doubled. If any diet worked, why would that be happening? Can anybody explain it to me? Anybody? Wow, we're at 2,000 likes. Come on, everybody, let's tap on there. I'm happy I see more and more people coming on. I'm happy to engage with you. But for the new people coming on, let me know. Do you want me to explain how did she lose 5 pounds a week, 21 pounds in a month? How did Julie lose 35 pounds in 37 days? Again, 7 pounds a week. And this older gentleman, 40 pounds in a month and 52 inches. But the best part of his story, look at his blood work. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124. Who else? Paul Williams. I agree. Wow. Thank you, Paul. That's wonderful. Earthing. How does Earthing? Hi. So, look, everyone, I want you to understand I'm on your side. We've got to put an end to this nonsense. I'll just read one recap, and then I promise I'm going to explain exactly what makes this so unique and why it works. But this kind of summarizes it all. Before I open my mouth, I should have made sure I could find this study. I know I've got. Oh, here it is. Again, everything we're sharing with you, whether it's Paul or Earthling or any of you, and that is definitely the same man. Good. How can you explain? I promise I'm going to explain it to you in a moment. But before I do that, let me just tell you why. I know I'm going to make you mad, but I'm only reading from the medical proof. None of it's mine. So this was a landmark UCLA meta-analysis by Tracy Mann and her colleagues, and it was published in the American Psychologist. 31 long-term studies on calorie-restricted diets, and they expose the harsh truth. Those are their words, not mine. They said the analysis concluded that calories in, calories out dieting itself predicts future weight gain. Every diet you're going on, 2/3 you're going to weigh more than what you started. So the researchers who created this, let's go back and take a look at Kristen real quick. What did she do? What did all of them do that I've showed you the pictures of? I'm going to explain it right now. First thing they did was they said, after they had, and by the people who invented this, they're the top weight loss nutrition physiologists in the world, Paul and Earthling. And what they did, after 40 years, 100 studies, thousands of people, every diet out there. They never found a diet where people were able to keep the weight off ever, ever, ever. So every single diet was a failure, every one. And they said the fundamental problem behind that was the fact that people are counting calories. But guess who can't count calories? Your body. It's the dumbest thing we've ever done. Why are we counting calories? You might as well count sheep. Guess what your body counts? Guess what your body needs? The three things that keep us alive: air, water, and nutrition. The hell with counting calories. That's what the researchers said. They said, we're going to come up with a new system that's based solely on foods with high levels of nutrition, period. And the theory was, we believe there's foods out there that you can eat less food with more nutrition. That was their game plan. So they developed a grocery list that you all would get, that they got 30% of what you consumed. So here's a way to think about it. Take last month's food bill, take 30%, the real dollars you spent, and that's all the food you're going to buy from your grocery store. But you're going to get a list, not of calories, no calorie counting, everybody. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. And serving sizes. Very important to make this work, because the researchers were calculating how much nutrition you needed to make sure that all your organs in your body were functioning. Here's why diets don't work. When you go on a diet, you lower the amount of food. Guess what else you're lowering? Nutrition. What does your brain do? It thinks you're starving to death, because in a sense you are from a nutritional standpoint. So what does it do? It immediately shuts down your access to the fuel inside your fat cell and turns your muscles. Every one of these studies, 25 to 40% of what people are losing in these diets is lean muscle mass. That's why they end up with all that loose skin. That's why so many of you complain to us, not about how much weight you've gained, but how much fat you have. So the researchers said, okay, we're going to give you nutrition, but only 30% of what you buy. The other 70% of the money you'd spend goes to not these researchers. There are no products here. Please understand me. So there's no magic elixir at the end. I'm going to, a blue light special. No, we don't have anything to sell. We're scientists. But the other researchers that had gone around, they worked for 20 years to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. So now they had the foods. Then they developed a new form of eating that they got a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office, called protein pacing. What the hell is that? 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. She started with these exotic foods from around the world that you can't buy in your grocery store, lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. That's called protein pacing. Then 2 days a week, they did something that's revolutionary, never been done before, called intermittent nutritional fasting. That sounds like an oxymoron. It wasn't fasting, it wasn't water fasting, and it wasn't time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods, but this time she ate 8 times a day. Yeah, she was eating every hour and a half to 2 hours. You know, diabetics on this, there were no insulin spikes, which is not the case if you try to do this with regular food. People who weigh 300 pounds, they weren't hungry. Why? Because you've never been hungry for a calorie. If I do nothing else, at least I get that point across to you. Your body has no idea what a calorie is. How could you be hungry for calories? The only thing your body's ever hungry for is nutrition. That's what these researchers set out and proved. But they went way beyond that. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved that this protocol was assisting the body in removing chemicals. The secret to this is a detox. It's not a diet. Don't try to put this in a diet category, calories in, calories out, any of that nonsense. But these researchers did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, muscle analysis, liver enzymes, extensive batteries of tests. They even showed this reduced inflammation, which we all suffer from, by 25% in a month. No diet's ever touched any of this. No diet's ever been shown to move a gram of a toxin out of your body. That's why she shrank. Look at her stomach on day 1 and day 30, everybody. No, they weren't allowed to exercise. They actually wore Fitbits to prove they weren't exercising. Why? Because otherwise the research said exercise would have been an outlier. And you'd say, well, she lost weight because it was diet and exercise. No, it wasn't. This is changing the world. The main reason to do it is not to lose weight. That's like number 4. Number 1 reason is to detoxify your body. Number 2 reason is to lower inflammation in your body. And number 3 is maintenance, is sustainability. Like I keep saying, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks 23 years ago. The picture you're looking at, all the pictures I've showed you, they're 8 or 9 years old. All the people have been able to keep the weight off, including my friend's daughter. She lost 60 pounds in 3 months. She's now kept it off for 8 or 9 years. I know, the reason I'm yelling, because I want you to understand. Everything we have here is what the world needs. Right now, we have 2.5 billion people overweight in the world out of 8 billion. And of the 2.5 billion, 1 billion are considered clinically obese. Do you know what the researchers said about that? They said obesity now is the leading form of malnutrition in the world. Can I repeat that for everybody? The researchers now saying obesity is the leading form of malnutrition in the world because people aren't getting the right amount of vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and botanicals necessary to support the main function of your body is to run all your organs. They don't run on, air is important, water is important, but the most important thing in your body is nutrition. When your body doesn't have enough nutrition, sadly, it converts your muscles into fuel because you're in a starvation survival mode. Sadly, you don't even have to believe me. Look at the horrific pictures from World War II. And look at those people. What did they have left? Skin and bone. All their muscle, all their fat was gone. Because once the body eats through the muscle, then it'll start go after the fat, and once it goes through the fat, guess what else? It starts to eat your own organs. That's what late stage anorexia is. You're actually going on a diet. We have the proof. You're doing something called catabolic metabolism, meaning it starts with your muscles. It's eating your body to survive. I mean, we're not making, that's how crazy this stuff is. Crazy. And people want to come on and argue, and it's about calories in, calories out, calorie deficit. No, it's not. And none of it, it's not because I say so or don't say so. As a matter of fact, the medical proof. Let me read to you why calorie counting is so ridiculous. This is the medical proof. The biggest failing of the calories in, calories out formula is ignores that the body adjusts its control system when calorie intake is reduced. So while the formula can support people achieving weight loss, initially, the reduction in energy intake ensures the lost weight will be regained and more. So for all of you, if you want, Paul, do you have those pictures? So what do you use for the detox? Paul, hopefully I just explained that to you. Wow, even the ketone diets. Oh my God. Let me read you about ketones. Let's see if I got it here somewhere. Let's see. I'm going to find it for you here in just a moment. I'm going to give you the summary from the medical proof about a keto diet. Okay, keto, the ultimate. Listen to this, Paul. Keto, the ultimate diet scam, rapid hype masking long-term failure and hidden dangers. Keto, the crown prince of diet scam, promises a fat-burning miracle by slashing carbs to under 50 grams daily, forcing the body into ketosis. It sparks rapid wins of 10 pounds in 2 weeks, but most of it's water, glycogen depletion, and an alarming 25 to 40% of the muscle loss is lean muscle mass erosion, not true fat reduction, leaving you frail and primed for metabolic revolt, slowing down your immune system. Your immune system. Paul, going on keto. It's one of the other studies over here. This is in Nutrients, a big study on keto. They said on a keto diet, exposure to keto diets is associated with large reductions in lean muscle mass and increased osteoporosis risk in obese individuals. My God, you're increasing your risk of osteoporosis by going on a keto diet. This whole thing is nuts. It's crazy. It's crazy. But the majority of you are going to go and count calories. I mean, let's talk about the shots for just a moment. I'm not against the shots. They're helping diabetics and they're helping people morbidly obese. Remember, we're scientists. We only present the medical evidence. Nothing I'm sharing with you is because here's the point, Paul. You can go and look it up, any of you. The New England Journal of Medicine, probably the top 1 or 2 medical journals in the world. They did a 68-week study, Paul, 68 weeks. Title, once weekly semaglutide in adults with overweight or obese. I'm only reading from the study for you. After 68 weeks, the weight loss was 32 pounds, and of the 32 pounds people lost, 40% was lean muscle mass. Wait a minute. They took 68 weeks to lose 32 pounds. At the low end of what we're seeing, she lost 21 pounds in a month. All I'm doing is giving you the medical proof, Paul and everybody else. We don't give you opinions. If you want opinions, there's plenty of people on social media. My critics, they want to give you opinions. They want to argue with me with opinions without any medical facts. We're in a crisis. This is completely out of control. Now, the other thing is, again, Do you have those pictures? Paul, also on the website is even more before and afters. Those pictures are there. Plus, there are people there, Paul, you'll see lost 100 pounds, no loose skin. Well, let me show you one of the big winners here. Look at this. 200 pounds in about a year. Where's the loose skin, everybody? Where's the loose skin? No surgery, no anything. Now, you can think it's a different woman. Of course, go for it, but it's not. 200 pounds in about a year. Or we started out today. You didn't even see this, Paul, I don't think. Grandma, 80-year-old, she lost 102 pounds and she's kept it off for 3 years. 100, I mean, come on. I understand. I want you all to be skeptical, but we give you the chance to diminish your skepticism, because if you go to the website, we can see it right there, Paul, the New Health Conversation. The only thing on there is a medical proof. And we won't even if you go there, we won't contact you. But if you do go there and you like what you see, notice free consultation. Not only is the consultation free, the coaching's free. There's no gimmicks. We don't have any products to sell you. We got coached. Our goal, I've been a nutritional researcher for 23 years. I've written 4 best-selling books, some of the top medical doctors in the world. I did 1,500 lectures around the world in hospitals, universities. Heck, they flew me to China. But for 22 of my 23 years, it meant 0 in the medical world. Why? Because there was nothing published in the peer-reviewed human trial studies. And this is the only protocol in the world with 10 peer, and nobody else has it. It's unfair to compare this to any kind of diet. It's a joke. Because one of the big studies actually in the obesity journal, what they did, they took one group of people and put them on this protocol, the detox, and compared it to the heart healthy diet, also called the Mediterranean diet, which has been voted the #1 diet in the world 8 years in a row. It took people on the Mediterranean diet 8 months to lose 10 pounds. Excuse me. She lost 21 pounds in a month. And 40% of what they lost again was lean muscle mass. And every person on that within 6 months had gained all their weight back. These people are keeping their weight off long term. You know what it's called? R2M, race to maintenance. I know everybody get really animated and really excited because I'm excited for all of you. You could change your lives and we could be the agents. All we're doing is giving you the medical proof so you can make maybe a different decision moving forward in your life, or you can hang on to this worn out, trashed out dog water, calories in, calories up. Am I making any sense? Paul, does this make sense to you? Paul, no diet. Paul, no diet. I read to you before. Let me find one of the other big studies here. Okay, here's a big study. The science behind diets don't work. It doesn't matter what, they looked at all the diets, every kind of diet you can imagine. And here's what they said. Despite all the ads that say otherwise, it's very rare for people to lose weight and keep it off for good. Not only that, but 2/3 of people who use any diet regain more weight than they lost, ending up at a higher weight. A review of more than 30 long-term studies showed that going on any diet actually causes weight gain. The more diets someone has tried, the more they weigh. So not only does dieting not work for long-term weight loss, but it's associated with increased risk of binge eating, eating disorders, and long-term weight gain. If it has the word diet after it, it doesn't matter. No diet. Right, Paul, you get it. Paul, are you finding this valuable? Is this valuable information? Paul, where else would you hear this? Who else is telling you this? The people on social media are telling you how easy. They're going to sell you recipes. What? What? Recipes? We're a little beyond that point. Good, Paul. Wonderful. And Paul, are you clear? If you want to, Paul, do you see the New Health Conversation? That's where you could go and see the medical. I'm going to show it to you now, Paul, and everybody else. You go to Google, you type in the New Health. Do a Google search, the New Health Conversation. It'll come up here in just a moment. You'll see it. Hold on, everybody. There it is. Click on the New Health Conversation. There's the website. Nothing on that website to buy. The only thing on there, for example, #1 is an exclusive podcast with the #1 weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. Paul, I don't want you to believe me. I'm reporting. We're called the researchers of the researchers. We didn't do the research. It's not our research, but we're bringing it to you. And then we give you a free website to see it. And we don't sell anything. And we coach you for free. Am I out of my mind? No, I'm a researcher, and we want to change the world. We want to help people. I've done over 1,500 live lectures around the world. They even flew me to China where they have an obesity crisis now going on, even in China. Well, we got 2.5 billion people worldwide overweight, and 1 billion of those are clinically obese. Does anybody in their right mind think diets are working? I'd love for anybody to tell me. I'm a nice person. Voice your opinion. You can have a different opinion, but unless you have peer-reviewed human trial studies, it doesn't mean anything. It's nonsense. It doesn't mean anything. Wow, we got 4,000 likes. Come on, let's get some more taps on that screen. Let's really get going. Yeah, Paul, what an eye-opener. Yeah. Well, let's see. What about the Bohemian diet? No diet actually works. Paul, I don't know if you saw that. Listen, I'm going to show you a picture, everybody. You're going to think, his is full of crap. He's BSing. I don't BS. This is 50 days. So that's 7 weeks, right? 49 days in 1 day, right? This gentleman. Now, this is a guy that needed to lose a lot of weight, Paul. 350 pounds. About, I think he was. Wait till you see this, Paul. Look at this. 75.6 pounds, 64.75 inches. Blood pressure went from 149 to 81 over 103 over 64. That is not Photoshop. That is real. Now, granted, he still has a stomach, but look at how much it went down with no exercise. Paul, look at 75 pounds in 7 weeks. Are you kidding me? But I got other numbers the same. Look at this older guy. He's in his mid-60s. Paul, 40 pounds, 52 inches in a month. But look at his A1C. Look at his A1C, 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124. What kind of diet are you all on thinking that would ever equal anything like this? Any of you? Who? What? Where would it be? What would be the name of the diet? Let me know. I want to know. Do you all understand that diets are miserable failures? When even Harvard, I got it here. I'll read it to you all in just a moment. Hold on. Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. That's Harvard Medical School. Not me saying that. Listen to what they were on to say. We have most people are taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose about a pound. But as it turned out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. Harvard Medical School goes on to say the idea of a calorie in and a calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's in our food, not how much food we're consuming. It's exactly what these researchers did. They have nothing to do with Harvard, but they proved that this protocol is going to change the world. Unless you've ever seen anyone in their mid-60s lose 40 pounds with no exercise in a month. Again, it's not a misprint, everybody. That's 30 days. And then our famous grandma over here, 80-year-old, she loses 102 pounds. And she was featured, along with her daughter, on the cover of Women's World magazine, June 9th of this year, 2025. I coached both of them. I happen to know them. The daughter is a nurse. She's 57 years old and lost 50 pounds in 3 months. She now weighs less than she did when she was in high school. The mom, like I said, and they've kept it off for 3. The mom lost 102 pounds. Are you kidding me? She couldn't walk up a flight of stairs. Now she's playing pickleball a couple hours a day, swimming, running. She got her whole life back. She thought it was over. A lot of you don't give up. Don't quit on yourselves. It's just you have the wrong approach, for crying out loud. Look, I say this too, just because it wasn't invented doesn't mean it wasn't possible. I don't know how GPS works. Do any of you? But don't we love GPS? Why would it be so unbelievable to think that something like this is completely the opposite of what we've been told for 100 years about calories in, calories out as the way to lose weight? It's just this is so refreshing, everybody. You could change your lives if you want to. Of the new people coming on, how many people believe that this is real or is that just fake? But you can't fake it. You got to understand, when it's on the cover of Women's World, the #1 Women's World, there's no faking. That's actually the woman. There she is. And her daughter, she's look at how much younger she looks. They're the nicest people. Now, the daughter who's a nurse, she's helping other people do this because everybody gets a coach for free. They were so motivated. Even the mom's coaching people, believe it or not. People get so motivated. They have such a life-changing experience. And then their friends start asking, what did you do? So a lot of them, and we do teach them how to, coach people. We don't just let them loose. Because the other thing that makes it so easy for everybody is Paul and everybody else. The research, they developed this, the scientists. This is what they gave to their patients. So these yellows are all daily videos from the world's top who invented this. And they're telling you it's safe and why you're doing what and why you should never try and do anything but this. I mean, how valuable is this? I mean, another group of researchers did a brief summary on calories in, calories out. Listen to what they said, everybody. The calories in, calories out model is nothing short of a colossal hoax, a simplistic, outdated myth that's been thoroughly debunked and abandoned by leading experts, including Harvard Medical School physicians, who outright declares it's antiquated and just wrong for sustainable weight loss, urging a shift to a nutrient-rich food quality over futile counting. Decades of rigorous studies expose calories in, calories out core lie. It delivers zero long-term success, with the vast majority of adherents regaining all of their weight or more due to inevitable metabolic slowdowns, hormonal disruptions, and insatiable hunger that sabotage any prolonged deficit, rendering energy balance a biological impossibility for lasting change. The human body flatly rejects this calorie counting farce because it doesn't operate like a mechanical calculator. Instead, the body, they're talking about, it metabolizes based on intricate nutritional signals from your microbiome, from insulin responses, macronutrient profiles, where calories from whole foods like vegetables trigger satiety, efficient energy use, while processed junk calories spike fat storage and cravings, proving all calories are emphatically not equal. This is about education, everybody. This is about you changing your lives. How many of you, if you just did this, if you could lose 5 pounds a week, you all know you get excited about a pound a week, don't you? But the medical studies say that initially almost stops. I have a big summary here. I read it earlier. They basically went over all the diets, and they in a year, it was for 12 months, and they looked. And here's what they looked at: low-fat diets, low-carb diets, keto diets, carnivore diets, macro counting, and time-restricted eating. So in 12 months, here's what was consistent across the board. Whatever weight loss I'm about to tell you they achieved in a year, 25 to 40% was lean muscle mass. They measured it, not me, the scientists. So over 12 months, the least amount of weight loss anybody lost was 11 pounds. And the most anybody lost across almost was 16 pounds in a year. And there's another study here that backs that up. This is the Journal of the American Medical Association, one of the big medical journals in the world, a 12-month study titled Once Weekly Semaglutide in Adults with Overweight or Obesity. They looked at 40, let me get it correct here. No, I picked up the wrong one. Oh, here it is, sorry. They looked at 48 unique randomized trials, 7,286 individuals, and found that from the least amount of weight loss in a year to the most amount of weight loss to least amount of weight loss in a year across all these diets. And they named them all: Jenny Craig, Weight Watchers, Nutrition, Paleo, Keto, Mediterranean, Carnivore, Time-Restricted Eating. The only difference in weight over 12 months was 10 ounces. And the weight loss over that period of time was only 16 pounds in a year. That's 7,286 people. So do you think you're on a diet? I'm going to tell you right now, 2/3 are going to end up weighing more than you do now. I hope that makes you mad. I hope you're at least curious enough to go to the website, which is free. It's free to go to that website, the New Health Conversation, and go see the medical proof. And then if you like what you see, notice it says free coaching to ensure your success. The coaching is 100% free. You've never done anything like this. You're going to get a grocery list of what you're going to buy from the grocery store, which is what she did. 30% of the food she consumed came from the grocery store. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Not based on calorie counting, based on serving size. So I'm telling you what she did to achieve this, what all these people did. So 30% of the food she consumed. So if you took your grocery budget from last month, take 30% of that, and you're going to buy about 30, you're going to only spend 30% of what you spent last month on foods, on proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. You're provided a list of the actual, but the serving sizes are everything, not calorie counting. And the other 70% of the food, of the money you spend, is going to come from these other researchers who had gone to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, bringing back foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. You can't buy this stuff in a grocery store. It's not, I don't even care if you go to Whole Foods, they don't have it. So those two foods made it possible to create this. Then what did she eat? How did she eat? 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Her breakfast was these exotic foods around the world. Lunch from the grocery store list that you would get, dinner from the grocery store list that you have, and a 4th meal after dinner from these exotic foods around the world. That's called protein pacing. That's what they call it. Notice the word pacing, because the researchers proved and got a trademark, a registered trademark on a new way of eating called protein pacing, where the nutrition was spread out. Made all the difference in the world, because they tried like taking all the nutrition and having it lunch and dinner. It didn't work. But 2 days a week out of 7, now don't get scared. Now remember, this is only until you lose the weight. They did something that's never been done before called intermittent nutritional fasting. Fasting with nutrition. No food from the grocery store. Only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half for 2 hours. Can you imagine that on a fast? You're eating every hour and a half? Nobody was hungry. The diabetics, no one had insulin spikes. And people that weighed 300 pounds were not hungry. In a month's time, they proved that hunger went down 41%. See, the main reason to do this is not to lose weight. And now I'm going to tell you the secret. This is not a diet, it's a detox. Now, how can I say that? Because the researchers did blood, stool, urine, fat analysis, along with muscle analysis, but those 4, blood, stool, urine, and fat, they proved that this was removing chemicals from the body. Well, it was enabling the body to do it. It's the body that has to do it. And see, the reason you all complain to us about how much weight you have, it's not the weight, it's the amount of fat you have. You hate it. You all hate it. You've told us. Well, what you're doing, you got to understand your own body, my body, your body, everybody's body is trying to protect us. As the chemicals come into our body through the water, air, and food, whether we know it or not, the body takes that chemical and stuffs it inside what's called your visceral fat. Your visceral fat is the fat around the organs. Predominantly, you can see it in the waist. Look at her. Look at day 1. Look at day 30. She detoxed. No exercise, no sit-ups, no crunch, nothing. I know it sounds too good to be true, but it's real. We're stuck at 4,200 likes now. Come on, let's get some more taps on that screen. I mean, I think my record is at 20,000 or something, but that was a really long one. I've only been on for an hour and 13 minutes so far, and I'm going to keep going because I can. So who else would like to ask me a question? Let me show you some of the other before and afters while we're doing that. So this is Julie, everybody, 35 pounds in 37 days with no exercise. And then my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months. And then, of course, we had Linda, 80-year-old grandma, cheats fate. She lost 102 pounds doing this, and she's kept it off for 3 years. By the way, the 102 pounds, I think she lost 91 initially in about, I think it was I know it was less than a year. And since that time, she's continued to lose. She still wants to lose about another 20 pounds. But at 80 years old, to lose 102 pounds and keep it off for 3 years, what do you think about that, everybody? And then this is the daughter of a friend of mine. Now, a lot of you think we switch, it's a different woman, right? So look, free coaching, the new health conversation, but look at her face, look at her arms, look at her waist. Where's the loose skin, everybody? And then, when you get older, suppose you can't lose weight. Don't tell this guy this. Mid-60s, 40 pounds, 52 inches in 30 days. Look at his blood work from 8.4 to 6.4. Triglycerides, 242 to 124. That's in 30 days with no exercise. He wore a Fitbit like everybody else, proving that he wasn't exercising. I'd love for any of you to make a comment. Come on, comment. What do you think about this? I need your input. So who else would like to ask me a question? And then, this is pretty amazing. Mary, 200 pounds in about a year, and she's kept it off. Where's the loose skin? Yeah, it's the same woman. You can think it's the same woman. We're not about photoshopping people. We don't need to do that because we have the new health conversation. Again, we always fall back on that. That's the medical proof. Listen, this protocol is published in 10 of the biggest medical journals in the world. There's no other diet with, maybe they have one study, and the studies on diets are pitiful. I told you before, The average weight loss in a year on these diets is least amount about 11 pounds, and the most amount in a year, 16 pounds across low-fat diets, low-carb diets, keto, carnivore, macro counting, time-restricted eating. It's all nonsense. They don't work. Do you all get that? They do not work. Unless you're excited about losing 11 pounds in a year. That's a pound a month average. Now, you're going to lose weight in the beginning faster, and then it stops. Why? Because 25 to 40% of the actual pounds you're losing is your lean muscle mass. And when that happens, your brain slows down your metabolism. That's why the weight loss stops. 12 months to lose 11 pounds? Are you kidding me? I know these are the medical studies. It's real, but it's shocking, isn't it? Doesn't it shock you? Or to have, listen to this other big study, a landmark meta-analysis by Tracy Mann, one of the top weight loss researchers in the world, and her colleagues published in the American Psychologist, reviewed 31 long-term studies on calorie-restricted diets and exposed the harsh truth. The analysis concluded that any diet in itself predicts future weight gain. Every person gained more weight than they lost. It's 31 studies. How much more evidence do you need? Do you need 1,000 studies? 10,000? I'll tell you your proof. Go to the beach. Or today, go to the mall, go to Walmart, go to Kmart, go to Costco, go to Target. I don't care. I mean, I do care. All of you are in a corner. You're exactly bamboozled. Info, please. Okay, I see you, Alicia. Let me explain it to you. So this was invented, Alicia, by not me. I had nothing to do with the invention of this. I'm a researcher, nutritional researcher, 23 years, and I've written 4 best-selling books, 20 shows on PBS, and 1,500 lectures around the world. So I want you to let you know I'm not just some guy. I'm a nutritional researcher, right? But these researchers, they'd done 100 studies over 40 years looking at pretty much every kind of diet out there, and they came to one conclusion. There was no diet they ever saw where people lost weight and kept it off. So they changed everything up. They said, we're going to abandon anything to do with calorie counting because our bodies don't have any idea what a calorie even is. So they said, we're going to base it on one new principle. We're going to find foods. They're going to pick them with the highest levels of nutrition with the smallest quantity of food. So you're going to eat less food in total, but you're getting more nutrition. That was the theory. So they put together a grocery list that you would get if you do this, Alicia. Only 30% of whatever you spent last month, you're going to spend this month at the grocery store because you're going to have a list, not based on calorie amounts, but serving sizes. And those foods that you would get the list of are proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables, but only 30%. Now, here's what made it work. The other 70% of the food, by the way, there's no products here. So put your mind at ease. There's no like at the end, oh, you want this magic elixir? This is food. 30% from your grocery store. What about the other 70% of the food you're going to buy? That came from other researchers who spent 20 years going around the world to places like Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand, to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but small quantities of food. Then they invented, and they got a registered trademark on a new way of eating called protein pacing. So 5 days a week, she was having 4 meals a day. You heard me, 4 meals a day, starting with these exotic foods from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand. That was breakfast. No food from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store list. Dinner from the grocery list. And a 4th meal after dinner, these exotic foods from around the world. That's called protein pacing. What mattered was the spreading out of the nutrition. Then 2 days a week, she did something never done before, never ever, called intermittent nutritional fasting, but not fasting, not water fasting, not time-restricted eating. On those days, no food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day, Alicia. Every hour and a half she was eating. Diabetics on this, no insulin spikes. People who weighed 300 pounds weren't hungry. They proved it. The researchers, in a month, people's hunger went down 41%. But the really big deal about this, Alicia, why it's not a diet, it's a detox. The research did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis and proved without a shadow of a doubt, well, first of all, this is a new medical syndrome which you and me and every person on this podcast has called TDOS. T stands for toxins being deposited in our fat cells, the deficiency in our food, overweight, and stress. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. Oh, Peter Greenlaw. Oh, by the way, that's me. I did discover it. So I know a little bit about this. So what's happening, we're breathing, drinking, eating chemicals, and the body, to protect us, is taking the chemical and stuffing it inside what's called our visceral fat. Our visceral fat is the fat around our organs. That's why so many of you complain to us, not just how much weight you've gained, but how much fat you have in your body. Look at her hips and waist with no exercise, Alicia, in 30 days. The research has proved through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis, this is removing chemicals from the body. It is the number one reason to do it. The second biggest reason to do it is they also measured inflammation, which is the underlying cause of every disease out there. And we're not treating, curing, diagnosing, or preventing any medical disease. We're just sharing with you what's in the medical studies that you can see. If you go to that website right above our head, the New Health Conversation, the studies are there. We have nothing to hide. But it's detoxing the body. Also, inflammation came down 25% in a month. And people, the biggest part about this is sustainability. I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I kept it off for 23 years. I mean, I just showed you the grandmother a minute ago. Look at that, 102 pounds at 80 years old, and she's kept it off for 3 years. The key to this, number one key is detox. Number two is lowering inflammation. Number three is sustainability. And what's maintenance look like? Well, it's pretty simple. Every morning, like this morning, I had the world's most perfect meals for breakfast. Then I've already had lunch, and I'm going to have dinner tonight. And then every couple months, I do another 48-hour intermittent nutritional fast, not to lose weight anymore, but just to help my body to get rid of toxins, because I'm not going to get rid of all of them. And they're coming at us every single day, just to let you know. So if you're going on this to lose weight, you already missed it. You're on the wrong path. So Alicia, does that make sense to you? And you understand, you go to Google, you type in the search, here's Google, you'll see the New Health Conversation. And that will take you to the link that'll take you to the free, it's a free medical website. We will not, there you go, the New Health Conversation. And there's the website. There's nothing to buy on that website. Number one is an exclusive podcast with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist in the world. Three, the studies. You actually get to see the actual studies. See, I see other people trying to charge you for their app to buy recipes, and then you get a coach. Nonsense. What a bunch of nonsense. We're coaching you for free. Someone coached us. So who else would like to ask me a question about this? I'm happy to repeat it. But again, I think when you see something like an older guy losing 40 pounds in a month, or would any of you be unhappy with losing 20 pounds in a month, 5 pounds a week, and being able to keep it off for 8 or 9 years and know that the main thing you were doing was detoxifying your body? And we've been stuck at 4,200 likes. Come on, everybody. If you just tap on the screen of your cell phone, that number will go up. And I see people coming on, I see people coming off. But because I really think, I'd love for any of you to say, do you think we're lying to you? Do you think that's Photoshopped? Do you think it's not real? The reason we can tell you it's real is because you get to go see the medical proof of this. And on the website, you'll see before and afters of people lost 100 pounds, no loose skin. Yeah, how's that sound? No loose skin. So who else would like to ask me a question? Don't be shy. And I'm a nice person. And you can disagree with me if you want. But the only rule I have is if you're going to disagree with me, you need to bring a peer-reviewed human trial study for what your position is. You can't give me an opinion. You can't say, well, of course it's about calories in, calories out. Because no, it isn't. I have a whole mountain here of studies proving that calorie counting is dead. It doesn't work. It's never worked, including why you shouldn't count calories. While counting calories and restricting calories can help you lose weight in the short term, the approach has never been proven to keep weight off long term. What's even worse, 2/3 of people who try to counter restrict calories gain back more weight than they lost. And then you don't even have to believe that. How about Medicare, everybody? They're trying to bring healthcare costs down. So they sanctioned these big analysis, right? Medicare's search for effective obesity treatments. Diets are not the answer. That's Medicare telling you that. Now, you can ignore it. That's fine. But listen to what they said. Our researchers at Medicare reviewed studies of long-term outcomes of calorie-restricted diets to assess whether dieting is an effective treatment for obesity. The studies showed that 2/3 of dieters regained more weight than they lost on any diet. In summary, there's little support for the notion that diets lead to lasting weight loss or health benefits. What are you all doing? Why are you doing it? Because that's what you've been told. That's it. I mean, you can lose 5 pounds a week at a minimum with no exercise. More than that, at Curtis, he lost 10. Look, he lost 10 pounds a week. Oh, 10.2 pounds, 52 inches. But look at his blood work. That is the thing that's amazing. His A1C from 8.4 to 6.4, triglycerides 242 to 124 in 30 days. And yet the majority of you are going to go back to these ridiculous, non-working diet programs. You've got to understand, there's never been a diet yet where people lost weight and kept it off long term. And 2/3 of you are going to gain more weight than you lost. Oh, okay, yeah. So Candace, not only is the consultation free, but the coaching is free the whole time. The goal is to get you to your goal and then show you how to stay there 100% free. So maybe you missed that part. So take your grocery bill from last month. Take 30% of those dollars. You're going to get a grocery list, not from us. We didn't create it, but from these world top researchers. It contains proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. Only 30%. You're going to buy it. And instead of giving you calorie counts, you're going to get serving sizes. Very important. The other 70% of the dollars that you have left are going to go towards these exotic foods from around the world. In most cases, it'll probably pay for it. At worst, maybe you're going to spend another $25 a week. Those foods come from Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, and the Himalayas, South America, New Zealand, represent huge amounts of nutrition. So you're buying 30% of what you spent last month at your grocery store. The other 70%, or maybe a little bit more, is to buy those exotic foods. You're buying a month worth of food. The coaching is 100%. Oh, the other thing I should tell you, Candace, that 70%, all of you, the 70% you're buying from those other researchers in the first month, 100% money back guarantee. They'll give you all your money back if it doesn't work. Would you like to tell me any of you a diet that they're going to give you 100% money back? Now, 30% of the money you spend at your grocery store, so I don't think unless you negotiate with them, they won't give you a refund. Because if you go, also, I want to show all of you. So right there it says free coaching, right? You see that, Candace? The idea is that the coaches are there not to sell you, not to convince you. You'll get the grocery list, and they'll show you how to buy direct, because you're not buying from the coaches. You're buying directly from the suppliers. That's why the prices are so reasonable, considering they're shipping foods from 18,000 miles away, in some, like New Zealand, for example. I know it sounds too good to be true, but what's your risk? Here's your risk. Your skepticism prevents you from doing it. You go on a diet, you lose weight, and you gain it all back, and you say, now what? Now what? I'm going to start over again and again and again? I mean, Candace, I lost 40 pounds in 7 weeks, 23 years ago. I've kept it off for 23 years. Does that sound like maybe that's something you want to? And it doesn't, look, if you go to the website, right there, the New Health Conversation, well, you actually type that in Google, we're not going to contact you. No, we don't do that. We let you decide. Once you see the medical proof, you get a coach and get a free consultation and free coaching if you decide to do it. And it comes with a 70%, well, 70% is 100% money back guarantee. I know, Candace, it probably sounds, does that make all sense, Candace? Candace from Kansas. I'm in Colorado. You're my neighbor. What part of Kansas do you live in? If you don't have to share if you don't want to. I'm a researcher, so I'm probably too nosy for my own good. But I'm just curious. Again, you don't have to share if you don't want to. How tall are you? How much you weigh? And I'll give you an honest appraisal of how fast you can lose the weight. I mean, we've been doing this a long. We know what the numbers are based on your southeast side. Okay. And then what about height and weight? And I'm assuming you've tried everything, or you probably wouldn't be on this podcast today, right? But I mean, Candace, at a minimum, how excited would you be to lose 5 pounds a week with no exercise and be able to keep it off? And you understand, it's not just short-lived. When you look at my friend's daughter, 60 pounds in 3 months, that's 5 pounds a week for 3 straight months. So it's not a flash in the pan where the first week you lose weight and then it stops. No, 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 it doesn't work like that. That's why I'm really 5'1" and 218. Okay, so I would say, well, you tell me what you think would be your ideal weight, because if I tell you, you're probably not going to like what I'm going to say. Because then I'm going to give you an honest opinion. Do you really, are you sick and tired of having that weight? You can't get rid of it. Now you have a solution. Because also it would give you an idea about, because the thing I didn't tell you, Candace, when you go on maintenance, you just have the exotic foods for breakfast every morning. So I would say that probably costs you $5-6 a day. I mean, it's like a Starbucks coffee for the world's greatest meal from a nutritional standpoint of view. You see what I'm saying? So you're not doing the whole program only until we get you down to the weight where you really want to be. Because I'm going to say, if you don't want to tell me, I'm going to say I'd like to see you lose, let's see, 218 Let's see, 70. I would say you probably would want to lose about 80 pounds. I mean, and I'm talking about to be incredible. So 80 pounds based on what I know and see. So let's do it. Imagine by December 1st, you could be down 80 pounds. Yeah, 130. That's what I was. We're pretty close. I'm sick. Yeah, laugh out loud. I'm not sure why my weight should be, to be honest. Well, because you have to understand that nobody understands it now, except that we do have the proof. Did you hear me talk about the TDOS syndrome, which I have and you have, and she has? So what we're doing, we're storing these chemicals in our fat cells, because I'm sure, don't get mad at me, I'm just a scientist, but I know the evidence. It's so people complain not just about how much weight they have, but how much fat the weight is made up of, right? Well, that's because of the storage of the chemicals inside the fat cell. No diet, no amount of sit-ups, no crunches, no exercise has ever produced the loss of even a gram of a toxin out of the body until now. They did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving this is removing toxins from the body. And you're going to get a coach for free. Do you think really we could do that? Now, listen, nothing's 100%. But I would tell you this to get you going, right? Candace, in just the first 4 days, you'll probably lose 8 or 10 pounds. Just tell me in the chat how encouraged would you be? The first month, you're probably going to lose minimum 25 pounds, minimum, with no exercise. Again, tell me in the chat, how excited would that make you? Does it motivate you to want to go to the website and look at the medical proof and then potentially get a free coach? We won't contact you, Candace, if you go there. So don't think you're going there and you're going to get a phone call from us. We don't do that. We're not here to harass people. We don't have time to convince and sell people. We're to educate people. Everybody gets a coach for free. That's one of our big challenges, to be honest, Candace, is, we have a limited number of coaches. Fortunately, a lot of people, like, say, someone like yourself goes on this as a great result, and then all of a sudden all their friends start asking them about it, and then a lot of people volunteer to be coaches. Now, we do teach them some of the aspects, but you also have to understand part of what you get from the coaches, our coaches, is what we got, which hopefully you can read that, Candace, the Blueprint for Success, which are daily videos from the researchers who created this, telling you it's safe and this is why you want to keep going, and these are the medical benefits, men and women, etc. So this is all free. You get this because you can't do it without this. This is really your, let's call it your virtual coach, but it's the scientific coach. You have a live coach too, and they're going to call you, text you, email you, whatever, smoke signals, however you want to communicate with them. No, it's not a joke. They really are there to coach you. We had a lady on before. She was, what did she say? She was 7 days, 7.1 pounds. She just was on, I don't know, maybe 25 or 30 minutes ago on the protocol. So, oh, good, Candace. Great. And Candace, you're going to see there's nothing to buy there, but that #1 podcast where it says 60 minutes that'll change your life, you definitely want to watch that, Candace. Does that make sense? And then you understand you can scroll down at the bottom. Once you look at everything, and then you decide if you want to know more. I'll tell you this, Candace, of the people that go to the website, I'd say almost 100% of them end up doing the protocol. Because again, you have no risk, because 70% of what you're going to spend, you're getting from the grocery store. Okay, does that make sense, Candace? 2 thumbs up, I love it. So who else would like to ask? And we're still stuck, everybody, at 4,200 likes. Did your fingers go to numb everybody on me? Unless you don't like the content, then don't tap on the screen if you don't like the content. But if you like the content, because this helps the algorithm to get to more people. Right now, I can promise you we have people in Australia and New Zealand and far reaches of the world watching this. And we even have people in the UK. It's right now about almost midnight. I had a lady yesterday. Who else would like to ask me a question? I got internet problems anyway, but hopefully it didn't interrupt. All of you can hear me, right? Oh, Danielle, that's so nice of you to send that to me. And Danielle, I saw your live earlier. It was great. They're all great. I really appreciate your support. Come on, everybody. We're stuck at 4,200 likes. Come on, some of you. Tap on that screen. Now, for the new people coming on, would you like me to explain to you how is this possible? Well, let's just go to the least. Okay, so this is kind of the least amount of weight. So 5 pounds a week is kind of the average on this. It's not a diet. It's a detox. Get that out of your mind. Get the word diet out of your vocabulary. This is not a diet. It's not. They don't want you, or they don't want you counting calories. It's not about counting calories. It never has been. The hunger you have in your body is not for calories. The hunger you have in your body is for one thing: nutrition. Does that make sense to everybody? So again, for all of you that are coming on, would you like me to explain? Please just, I'm not a mind reader. I'm happy to walk through again exactly what they did to create that and why it's a detox and why diets don't work. I mean, we've got study after study proving that diets are just miserable failures. I read before this big report, The Grand Myth of Traditional Diets, a devastating cycle of failure and false promises. Traditional diets, be they low fat, low carb, keto, carnivore, macro counting obsessions, or the last fad, time restricted eating, seduce millions with vows of dramatic weight loss and radiant health. But the brutal truth, etched in decades of unyielding scientific evidence, shatters the illusion of diets. These diets deliver fleeting illusions of progress, followed by inevitable regain of all the weight, negligible long-term medical benefits, and the hidden toll on your body of the crucial loss of 25 to 40% of your lean muscle mass, not fat, accelerating metabolic slowdown and slowing down your own immune system. That's the damning, this is the major researchers in the world now. I read even to you before about the fact, let me find it here. Oh, here it is. Harvard Medical School. Stop counting calories. We've been taught that, this is Harvard Medical School telling you this. We've been taught that losing weight is a matter of simple math. Cut calories 3,500 and you lose a pound. But as it turned out, experts are learning that this decades-old strategy is totally misguided. Again, quoting Harvard Medical School, the idea of a calorie in and a calorie out when it comes to weight loss is not only antiquated, it's just wrong, says Fatima Stanford, obesity specialist, Harvard Medical School. Drop the calories notion, Stanford said. It's time to concentrate on what's inner food, not how much food we're consuming, which is exactly what the researchers did, and they have no affiliation with Harvard. But don't you think it doesn't at least cause a little bit of curiosity in your mind when I've got study after study after study saying stop counting calories. Calorie counting doesn't work. And there's an actual factual reason for that. Why calorie counting can't possibly, so I have it over here. Let me see if I have it in my other section here. Let's just see. Hold on if I can erase that. Okay. Let's see. Eliminate. Okay, choosing. Okay, what they said, based on overwhelming evidence, choosing any traditional diet is totally misguided. It's indefensible negligence in the face of mankind's deadliest foe. That's what they're saying about diets. If you're on a diet, you're going against your own health. Diets are making you unhealthy, everybody. Oh, wow. Whoa, what did he say? This guy's crazy. No, I'm not. First of all, I've been on this now for more than an hour, and we're stuck at 4,200 likes. Come on, everybody, let's get some I want to see some hearts coming up. If you like the content. If you don't like the content, then you're probably on the wrong podcast. If you want some flowery explanation about, oh, you're going to buy some recipes and you're going to lose weight, it's all nonsense. It's just nonsense. Go to the beach, go to the lake, go to the mall today. Look at America. Look at what, but around the world, 2.5 billion are overweight, and 1 billion of those 2.5 are clinically obese. Really, do you think diets are working? Anybody, please put it in the chat so I don't lose my mind thinking, am I the only one? Because the biggest experts in the world, not me. It's not my research. We're the researchers of the researchers. But we're bringing it to you for free. We created a free website for you all to go to, a free website. It's right there above our head in blue, the New Health Conversation. You type that in Google and it takes you to the link and takes you to the site. That's what you want to Google, the New Health. It's a registered trademark, U.S. Patent Office. By the way, do you think we need a new health conversation? Do you think what's going on right now, 92% of you are metabolic unhealthy according to the CDC? If you have 3 of these 5 factors, are you overweight? Do you have high blood pressure, high blood sugar, high cholesterol, high triglycerides? If you got 3 of those, you're considered metabolic unhealthy. And let me tell you how devastating it is. Of the federal budget now, healthcare is about $4.5 trillion with a T. $1.5 trillion is metabolic syndrome, which is a total lifestyle disease, which back in 1964 didn't even exist. Ladies and gentlemen, it's getting worse. From 1995 to 2025, that's 30 years. The obesity rates in this country have doubled, and we're stuck still at 4,200 likes. Come on, everybody. All you do is tap on the face of your cell phone, and the likes will go up, hopefully. if you like what I'm saying. If you don't like what I'm saying, then don't tap on the screen, obviously. Makes no sense. So who else would like to ask me a question? Well, let me show you some more pictures then, okay? Let's take a look. First of all, what happens if you're an athlete? These people, none of them were allowed to exercise. I forgot to mention that because the researchers didn't want exercise to be an outlier, because otherwise it would have said, well, it was diet and exercise. No, they wore Fitbits, but they weren't exercising. Now, you certainly can exercise. Don't hear me say no. But the researchers eliminated exercise so it wouldn't be a factor, right? I'm going to show you what happens when you exercise. The picture I'm going to show you is a young man who lives in Costa Rica, who surfs a couple times a day, works out 7 days a week. So the transformation is just in 11 days. Wait till you see the change. He didn't want to lose weight. It had nothing to do with losing weight. Look at day 1, everybody. Look at that midsection, right? And then when it says day 5, that's 4 days later. Look at his midsection. And then when it says day 12, that's 11 days in. Look at that transformation. You think this is a diet? The only thing he changed was going on this protocol. And he didn't do it to lose weight. He did it to gain lean muscle mass. We've got all kinds of people that want to gain lean muscle mass. We have kids as young as 2 doing this. We have a lady 91. I showed you grandma. Here's grandma, everybody, 80-year-old, 102 pounds, and she kept it off for 3 years. But again, for any of you athletes, I'll show you another athletic picture. Look at Brian here, everybody. 50 pounds in 4 months. Look at that transformation. Now, the weight loss is actually more than that because he gained lean muscle. Look at that. How's that looking to you all? This is going to change the world. You have to understand there's nothing to compare it to. Whatever diet, I mean, it would be silly to try to compare this to keto, paleo, Mediterranean. None of them have ever produced anything like this. It's not a diet. The reason I like to feature her so much is she only needed to lose 30 pounds, and she loses 21 pounds and 38 inches in 30 days. How crazy is that, everybody? I understand you're skeptical, and that's probably why you're not coming on and asking me to explain what it is, but it's not a diet. It's a detox. It is a detox. And it's proven through blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis that it's helping the body remove chemicals that were all stored inside our fat cells. That's why our waist went down so much. If you look at day 1 versus day 30, that's with no exercise. How crazy is that, everybody? So who else would like to ask me a question about how is this even possible? How could you lose 21 pounds and 38 inches in a month with no exercise? And has nothing to do with counting calories, and it's not a diet. And there's no products to buy. It's food and a new way of eating. Yeah, there's no products to buy here. There's no magic elixir or capsule. No. 30% of the food that she consumed, she got a grocery list. She took it to the grocery store. Proteins, fats, carbs, fruits, and vegetables. No calorie counting at all, just serving sizes. And the other 70% of the food that she bought didn't come from the United States. It came from other researchers who'd gone around the world for 20 years to Russia, Mongolia, Tibet, South America, New Zealand to find foods with huge amounts of nutrition, but smaller quantities of food. Then based on that, they created a new way of eating. They actually got a registered trademark U.S. Patent Office. It's called protein pacing. And what the researchers proved, it didn't just matter like how much food you're eating, etc. It mattered when you ate and what the spacing in between. So 5 days a week, she had 4 meals a day. Morning was these exotic foods around the world. No foods from the grocery store. Lunch from the grocery store list, dinner from the grocery store list, and a 4th meal after dinner from these. Well, imagine being on a diet having 4 meals a day. Let's just start with that, all of you. Right away, you're, oh my God, I wouldn't lose weight. Yeah, you did. Look what happened. And then 2 days a week, she did something called intermittent nutritional fasting. Not fasting, not time restricting, not water fasting. This was fasting with nutrition. Now, how did they pull that off? No food from the grocery store, only these exotic foods around the world. But this time she ate 8 times a day. She was eating every hour and a half. Diabetics on this, no insulin spikes. People weighing 300, though they proved in a month, hunger went down 41%. And the main reason to do this is not to lose weight. The main reason to do this is to detox, because we're all storing chemicals inside of our fat cells. And the researchers did blood, stool, urine, and fat analysis proving this is removing chemicals from the body. I know it sounds good to be true, but it's better than that, because right above her head is that's the link to go to the medical website to see the proof. And if you go to that website, we will not contact you. I'm going to show you the website right now, everybody. Type in the search bar, the new health conversation, and it will take you to the link to take you to the website. Watch. Boom, there it is, the new health conversation. Click there, and there's the website. Nothing to buy, nothing. There's nothing for sale. Number one, it's only the medical proof, including number one, the interview with the number one weight loss nutrition physiologist. It's a podcast, actually. Look at number three. It takes you to the medical studies. This program is published in the 10 biggest medical journals in the world. Nobody has that, period. None of these other people on all these diets have anything like that. You're all following them because you don't have another alternative until now. Now you have an alternative. Do to stop this. Okay, we're back. Sorry. I don't know what happened there for a moment. But everyone also look at this. This makes me so happy. 200 pounds in about a year, no loose skin, no surgery of any kind. Now you can think it's a different woman. I get that, but look at that, everyone. What do you think about that, everybody? Is it the same woman? Or this is a friend of mine's daughter. 60 pounds in 3 months. I'd love you all to ponder that. So again, we must be losing people left. Oh, we did. We went to 0 people. Maybe that's why no one's texting, because they probably thought when the internet went down, they all jumped off. So I'm going to wait another minute or two, and then I will sign off, as it's been a long day today. But I hope that some of you did go to the website and talk to a coach. I mean, it's free to go there, and the coaching is totally free. All right, everybody, I'm going to end this podcast. I want to thank for all of you being on. Just to let you know, tomorrow I'll probably be on around 8 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and then probably every hour and a half to 2 hours over the course of the day. So thanks to all of you for being here, and I invite you